Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey, everybody. My name is Matt, and today is a big day. Today, we're cracking open, tasting, and reviewing Jack Daniel's 14-year. Yeah! Wow. You see, before I make videos, I make a list on my phone of videos that I should make. Some people call it brainstorming, but at the top of that list was a video that I was going to make, and it was called My Most Anticipated Whiskey of 2025. Do I know all the whiskeys that are going to be released in 2025? No. But what I did know was that Jack Daniel's 14-year was in the works and was to be released in 2025. And I told myself, Matt, if there's one bottle that you need to procure, one bottle that you must manage to obtain through any means necessary, even if it was a murder, the one bottle that I knew I had to have this year was Jack Daniel's 14-year. I don't necessarily believe that I prayed for it, but guess what showed up? Gigantic box with Jack Daniel's name on it. Inside that box were two samples of Jack 10 and Jack 12. But what made the box so heavy is what made me say, what the hell is that? An entire bottle of Jack 14. Jack Daniels, thank you so much. Jack Daniels did not need any media attention regarding their 14-year product. They didn't need any hype men. They didn't need anybody to shout from the rooftops that people needed to go out and buy it. This is going to be a $150 limited release bottle that's hitting shelves nationwide this month, like February, March. They did not need to send a single sample to anybody in the industry to review. It would have sold itself. So when I say thank you to Jack Daniels for being extra kind to people like me, I mean it. But I haven't opened this yet, and this doesn't guarantee a rave review. But having tasted the Coy Hills and the 10-year and 12-year, I can't imagine that a 126.3 proof 14-year Lynchburg offering is going to be bad. I would say there's a better chance of me getting a lucky three-way with my wife after bowling a 900 at League this week. That'll get edited out. Oh yeah. America. Jack Daniel's 14-year is the third expression in the Jack Daniel's age-stated line that Master Distiller Chris Fletcher wants to bring back from the dead. So far we've had the 10 and 12, now on to the 14. According to Chris Fletcher, nobody has put their lips on 14-year-old Jack Daniel's whiskey for about 120 years. Distilled and bottled by Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee, 126.3 proof, batch number 1. One in a series of hand-selected batches delivering a rare taste of Jack. Giving this 14-year-old Jack the old Tennessee spinner, if you know what I mean. The old Lynchburg lap around the glass, we call it. First smell ever of 126 proof 14-year-old Jack Daniels. Huh. Why is it so delicate? It smells amazing, but so delicate. Oh, it smells like a red velvet cake. Let's pour some in this glass as well. 14 trips around the sun, 4,000 trips around this glass. Ah, it's even subtle out of this pretentious tasting glass. It's like a red velvet cake with an emphasis on the frosting. This is much more vanilla than I've ever gotten off of a Jack Daniel's product. This is like the most delicious frosting ever. And I love frosting. I'm starting to see this thing. It's kind of like a trend with Jack Daniel's products that is the same trend that I see with a lot of Buffalo Trace products. As these whiskeys age older and older and older, you're not necessarily getting an extremely prominent oak note. What you're getting is this ultra sweet, decadent. It's like as it ages, the oak isn't taking over and dominating. Instead, it's just building into this super concentrated, extra sweet, thick flavor profile. Oh, pleasure me timbers. This smells so good. It's like concentrated breakfast syrup, but like the fruity ones, like a cherry or mixed berry, just cooked down, thick, viscous breakfast syrup. If Elon Musk checks the gold reserves and there's nothing there, hopefully they replaced it with this, because this could be the new gold standard. It could just be 14-year-old Jack Daniels is what the dollar is based on. I know nothing about what I'm talking about. Since the nose is so delicate, I'm wondering what's gonna happen on the palate. I'm a little like, Wow. Whoa. That is one thick fruit punch. The super fruity wine note that I get on all Jack Daniels products is very present here. It's like that Jack flavor profile really cooked down into an extra thick and concentrated pleasure pouch. Strangely enough, just like the nose, the oak, the 14-year oak, is not like piling on heavy here. If the 18 and 21-year-old expressions are in the works, if these barrels continue to age like this, I don't see any issues with an 18 or 21-year-old product being over oaked, because this is certainly nowhere near that. I'm an oak lover, right? We've talked about this several times. I'm infatuated with the oak. I have an oak problem. If they had a website, I would join Oakley fans. So there is a bit of me that was hoping that a bit more oak would shine through on this, but the bigger bit of me is happy to know that there's still room to grow. We can still get oakier, baby. Hell yeah. Second sip. This experience reminds me of a higher proof Jack Daniel's 12-year batch 1, which, if I'm being extremely honest, I'd have to ask Chris Fletcher off the record, but I'm thinking that 12-year batch 1 had older whiskey in it than 12 years. I'm pretty sure, just based off of scientific palate expertise, because this reminds me of a much higher proof Jack Daniel's 12-year batch 1, which, by the way, was like a mini Coy Hill. This is kind of like Coy Hill's cousin. Third sip. Wow. I have hairs standing up on my arms. You can't see it, but I can feel it. I have goose pimples. I have goose nipples. It's sending a shock to my system in a great way. It's like when someone scratches your back real lightly and you're like, whew, like, hey. And everything kind of like stands up. That's what this does, but not on your back, but from the inside out. It's working from the inside out. This is good. This is good. Funny thing, my number 2 whiskey of 2024 was created by Evernorth Spirits. It was their Arctic Spirit rye whiskey finished in tawny port and ruby port barrels. And I picked up a note on the back end of that, and it was grape juice. Welch's grape juice. Weirdly enough, I typically get this red wine finish on Jack Daniels. I've said that a million times. But in this instance, on the very finish of this, the 14-year, I'm not getting the Welch's grape juice note as like overwhelmingly as in the Arctic Spirit, but for a split second, on sips 2 and 3, for a split second, it came and then went. Like grease at a massage parlor. That'll get edited out too.
Keep your questions to yourself.
Now going back to the nose, and there's some blackberry there. Now that I've warmed this whiskey in my tiny little matte hands, the nose is starting to open up a bit, starting to warm up to me and tell me its little secrets. Hey Matt, come here. Some of the black and red Haribo candies, the Haribo berries, the candies, yeah, they're right there. They're definitely there. It's like Australian red licorice with a twist. After taking a few sips of this and going back to the nose is just now starting to shine. The nose is really starting to speak to me. But the relationship I have with the nose of this Jack Daniel's 14-year, even though it's speaking to me, I'm not hearing it, I'm smelling it. I can smell its language. And its love language is words of affirmation. Damn. So good. So hot. So sexy. You're perfect. Now there's like a baked cinnamon, oh, now like a cinnamon roll? Like a sticky bun? Sticky buns now? The more I'm smelling this, now the more excited I'm getting. If you can't tell, excitement level, so high. Probably too high, because my wife is sleeping directly above me right now, and she's on midnights and her sleep schedule is all messed up, so I have no business down here talking this loud. Even though you probably don't think I'm talking loud, she definitely thinks, if she can hear me, too loud. Party people! Oh, Dennis Rodman's arrest record, that's crazy. This 14-year-old Jack Daniels is no slouch. It's ridiculous. I've only taken small itty bitty sips of the 10 and 12 year, so that video will come next, comparing those two together and seeing which one I prefer more. But the real story here is this 14 year and how like well-rounded and put together it is. There's no sharp edges here. If there is a dominant note in this whiskey, upon first sip, it is that red wine, fruity yeast Jack Daniels profile that kind of overtakes everything. But as you continue to sip, everything comes together in this perfect package. What I think is magical about this bottle is the fact that it was bottled, the proof it was bottled. I'm gonna have a Zoom meeting with Chris Fletcher later today, one-on-one, just me and him, and whoever else was invited. But if I have one question for him, this is the question I will ask. Did you taste through this 14-year expression at different proofs and decide that this 126 proof offering was the best of those? Or did you just full send, balls to the walls, just friggin' send it, and you're like, barrel strength, who gives a crap? The people want aged Jack Daniels and the people want it at barrel strength. And we're the men of the people. We're the people of the people. Chris Fletcher will sit there and tell you about how what he is doing is honoring history and the history of Jack Daniels and the history of the 10, 12, 14, 18, and 21-year-old expressions, that he's honoring tradition. That's what he wants to do. But seemingly while doing that, he's also honoring what we want, the enthusiasts, the people who crave the best whiskey on the planet, Janet. When we look into a camera lens and we say, we want more of this. We want older whiskey. We want barrel proof. Chris Fletcher hears it and it absorbs into his mind and he just does it. Chris Fletcher is like the husband that everybody wants. Even me. Chris Fletcher is a people pleaser, and I like that about him. Matter of fact, I love that about him. I love it. Jack Daniel's 14 year receives a score from me of 9.05. It is absolutely fantastic, bordering on some of the best things I've ever had. It is wonderful. Thank you, Jack Daniels, not only for sending me a bottle, which I didn't expect and I don't deserve, but mostly thank you, Jack Daniels, for just putting out stuff like this. Personally, it's cool to be able to attach myself to this awesome ride that Jack Daniels is on right now. Unless Brown-Forman hits Chris Fletcher over the head with a 38-pound baseball bat, I don't see him stopping. And even if it were that bat, he might just brush it off, spit out a couple teeth and move on, move forward. Forge the river and float, Oregon Trail style. And while everybody else dies of dysentery, Chris Fletcher will bring us, the people, what we want, which is history repeating itself. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, like I always say. Keep your head in the clouds, but your mind taking gigantic boxes like this and turning them into 1 ounce Wednesday boxes. I think I have a new 1 ounce Wednesday box. My old 1 ounce Wednesday box is a Jack Daniels bonded rye box, but I think this is bigger. I think this will hold more samples. Is the hinge kind of broke? Yeah. Dude's car got a little banged up in the shipping process, but I think this is a brand new 1 ounce Wednesday box. Jack Daniels always sends the cool shit, and I like that about them. This video was so long. This video was I don't even want to know how long this video was. This raw video was going to take me every day of the month to edit. It was so much, it's so long. That's what she said. It's the truth. Longest video I ever recorded. 55 minutes. I've been recording for 55 minutes. I can't edit that. I can't edit that. I look like a sand dune in this shirt.